Good morning, Patriots. How are you today? As you're coming on, say hi. Where you're watching from, this is Mike Good coming to you live from Central Missouri. It's that time again, 8:30 a.m. on 3/19/2021. I hope you're having an awesome Friday. Yesterday was rainy and miserable and cold here in Central Missouri. Today it's supposed to be in the 50s. I love this time of year where the cold don't hang around very long and the birds are singing and the flowers are popping up and the grass is starting to turn green, although I don't like that because that means I have to mow it. But as you're jumping on, say hi. Where are you watching from? I hope you have a nice warm cup of coffee to start off your day. Nothing better than a warm cup of Joe in your favorite Army cup. Yesterday, my youngest boy, who graduates from high school this year, he enlisted in the Air Force. So I don't know exactly when he's going. Takes a little bit to get all that organized, I'm sure. But he went down and, raised his right hand and swore. But, the good thing about that to me is that he did ROTC for 4 years. So it's an extra check for him. And it's a good way for a young man, 18 years old, to start off. I mean, he has no intention whatsoever going to college. So this is probably the best thing for him, in my opinion. So I'm proud of him. Anyways, hope you guys are having a great day. Check it out. If you're follow me on Rumble. Yesterday they muted my video while it played the part from The View. That's why you're all, it's silence. It's silent. If you watched it live, you got it. So it's important to watch me live because they won't catch me most of the time live. But if you're watching it on a rerun, they muted that part of it. They also stopped the spread. They completely shut off new people from seeing my video. So follow me on Rumble. If you want to see what that part of that broadcast was about, you can go two places. You can go to Rumble and see it there, watch the whole video there, and get the gist of what was going on. Or you can go over to Telegram and you can, right there, that's Patriot Mike Thoughts on Telegram right there. And that video is on Telegram. That's what my Telegram page looks like right there. You go over there and you can change mouses here. There's a lot of stuff and a lot of information. I'd go over there and play that video, but they just muted again. So you have to go watch it for yourself if you want to find out what that is all about. Anyway, moving on, I'm also on the YouTubes. If you're on YouTube, please like, subscribe, share, and hit the little thumbs up button or the like button or whatever it is over there. If you're on the Rumble, make sure you hit the little Rumble button. That's what this little mitt right there next to where it says 1,700K. It's more than that now, but please do that because that's how it gets spread around. And if you're on Facebook right now, do me a favor, share this video. You may have to actually drop out and go to my Facebook page and share it from there. There's probably not a share within the video. You'll have to drop out, go to my Facebook page and share the video from there because that's part of the way they're muting me. They're taking away the share button. They're also changing the settings. I found out that some people that I was following, I wasn't getting anything. I went back and looked and I had been unfollowed. So that's another thing that you can check and do. If you thought, well, I'm following this guy, but I'm not getting any messages, go click over to my Facebook page and go click on the follow button and see if it says you're following me, because that's another thing that they do. Seems that they change settings on their own. Doesn't seem fair, doesn't seem right, but I'm playing, I'm enjoined into the battle of the arena of ideas, and I am playing on the enemy's ground. That's why I'm on Facebook and YouTube and all that. I know a lot of my friends are, I'm jumping ship, I'm going away, I'm not going to do YouTube and Facebook, I'm not going to do Twitter and all that stuff. Now, I don't do much twitting, but I'm still on there, and I'm still looking because there's information to be gleaned. That's the only reason. I'm most active here, Rumble, YouTube, and Telegram. That's where I'm most active. And if you want to find me, look for me there. anyways, as you're jumping on, we're gonna do a little Q&A today. So if you got any questions, I'll be back and forth looking at the chat room. So as you're jumping on, say hi. And I can, if you're on YouTube watching me live and you comment, I can see your comments from YouTube and Facebook, where I'm live at both places right now, and I can see your comments. So if you want to ask me comments there, that's cool. Let's see. Yes, let's see. Enemy's ground. Good way to put it. It's what it is. It is the enemy's ground. But if you can't occupy territory in the enemy's backyard, then you ain't occupying territory, are you? You're not even in the battle. So what are we going to talk about today? Let's see here. So in the news today, we got this right here. Donald Trump Jr. says that Putin just challenged Joe Biden to an unscripted live debate. That would be fun to watch. They should put that one on pay-per-view. I'm just saying. The whole world knows that we have no leadership at the top, just an empty suit with a teleprompter, and he can't even get that right. They look at America's weakness right now and are salivating. So Putin, Biden challenged Putin and called him a killer and said he knows him and all this stuff. And I actually have a video on Telegram with Putin answering that, and a friend of mine has confirmed that is what he's saying, because it's translated. Let me just pop this up real quick right here, and we'll jump right into that.
Семья приехала. Дочка здесь живет. Мы действительно, как он сказал, мы с ним лично знакомы.
As he said, we know each other personally. What would I reply to him? I would say, I wish you health, I wish you health.
Будьте здоровы.
I say that without any irony or joke.
Говорю это без иронии, без шуток. Вы знаете, я вспоминаю.
And I remember in my childhood when we argued in the courtyard, we used to say, it takes one to know one. And that's not a coincidence, not just a children's saying or joke.
И это не случайно, это не просто детская поговорочка и шутка. Или когда оцениваем...
When you are judging other people, or even when we are judging other states, other peoples, we are always kind of looking into a mirror. We always see ourselves. We are always projecting what is of importance to us, what is our essence on other people.
То, чем мы сами дышим.
So in there, he kind of challenged him back. That's part of it right there. There's a little more that didn't get aired in that video. But so then the news was breaking later in the day that Russian President Vladimir Putin has challenged President to a live debate, according to ABC. Putin, I want to propose that President Biden to continue our discussion, but on one condition, that we do it basically live, as it's called, without any delays and directly in the open, direct discussion. Could you imagine? So, Mr. Biden, what did you mean by you don't get the $1 billion when you was talking to the government of Ukraine? So, Mr. Biden, why did your son get all that money from the Chinese government when you were, over there as point man? Because he don't have to worry about getting elected in the United States. He doesn't have to worry about the United States press. Could you imagine? I don't think that's going to happen. And it says, breaking, White House shuts down Putin's debate challenge, says Biden is quite busy. So yes. Then this was said. This is Raheem Kassim. I think that's how you say his name. Blue check mark. Oh yeah, I totally would love to fight you in the schoolyard. You see, the problem is I've got some homework to finish, and Mom says I've got to be home before 4. So I'd love to, but I can't. Come on, man. I mean, this guy tries to pick a fight with a world leader who has nukes and aircraft carriers. Their military isn't what it once was, but a nuke, it may not be the most modern nukes, but is still a nuke, I mean, it's probably not a good idea. Of course, he's having, issues all around. Here's another article. Let me pull this one up. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So I'm just going to switch over to my Telegraph page right here. And you can see that article right there says Kim Jong-un's sister issues stark warning to Biden administration. We take this opportunity to warn the U.S. administration trying to give off gunpowder smell in our land. Kim Yo-jong said, if it wants to sleep in peace for coming years, it had better refrain from causing a stink at its first step. Now, the North Korean government is anything if they aren't eloquent, right? I mean, there's some weird stuff there. But Biden's over there trying to poke them too, and he's trying to poke, several other people. I guess he's trying to prove he's the man. I don't know. I don't understand. Somebody says Putin gets his vote before Biden. Yeah, Facebook won't let you watch me live. I'm not surprised. I get the notification on Facebook when you come on, just can't watch. It's really strange. Yeah, sometimes when my friend BB comes on, some of you know I can't say his name because they'll shut this thing down if I say his name. I get the notification also, but I have to actually go to his page. Not the notification won't go through. I have to go to his page and find the video and go that way. It's just the only way to do it. Of course, like I'm on YouTube right now, and I'm a very, very small fish on YouTube, and they really haven't started censoring me over there. I kind of flying under the radar. So if you go over there, you definitely can catch me. So it hasn't been any good fights lately, but the Biden-Putin would be worth watching. Yeah, but it would last about as long as a Mike Tyson's fight. I'm thinking it would be over pretty darn quick. I'm just saying. Yes, they want war. They want all-out war. They need war. It's part of their plan to reset everything, definitely. So we got Biden trying to pick a war with Russia. What else we got going on here? What's this say? This is Fox told Representative Jimmy Gomez. Fox is told Representative Jim Gomez, Democrat, California, will introduce a resolution tomorrow to expel a representative. I always say her first name wrong, and I apologize. Majorette, Major Right, whatever. Why can't just? I think it's Majoree. I don't know. Anyways, Miss Green, Representative Green, the resolution, I can say that word. The resolution is privileged. That means that it will come up at any time, potentially as early as tomorrow. So they're moving to expel her from Congress for her opinion because she believes in Q and she supports Donald Trump. Now, if I remember, the First Amendment says something about that you have the right to your own beliefs, whatever those beliefs are. I mean, we actually have people in Congress right now who are devout communists. Like, for example, Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders went on his honeymoon to Moscow when it was the Soviet Republic. We have devout Muslims who say that Christian men need to be slaughtered in this country. In Congress, sitting members of Congress, those are their quotes right now. We have a sitting member of Congress right now who, when she got elected, said of then sitting president of the United States of America, we're going to impeach the MFer. We have sitting members of Congress who actually have given financial support to Antifa and Black Lives Matter's terrorist organizations. And who calls them? God calls them terrorist organizations. That's in a Kim Clement prophecy, in my opinion. Yet they want to remove this woman who was duly elected because of her opinion. Is she not entitled to her own opinion? Is she not entitled to her own thoughts? Or do we all have to have the same thoughts as our masters? Think about it. Oh, let's see. I got to pull that up so I can read it. But Fox is told, don't expect a resolution to come up tomorrow or right away. 2/3 supermajority is needed to expel a member from the House. Now, that's a law. But you know what? There's so many Republicans that are wishy-washy and would love to see her go away. The House has only expelled 3 members in its history. 3 were expelled in 1861 because of their support of the Confederacy. The most recent expulsion was the late Representative Jim Traficant. I don't know, some of you my age probably remember that. After he was convicted of 10 charges, including bribery, conspiracy, and racketeering. Now, those are all reasons. For one, we were in a civil war, and the 3 members expelled in 1861 were supporting the enemy. You know, kind of like supporting China, or kind of like sending pallets full of cash to Iran, something like that. Oh, and the most recent one was because he had 10 charges, including bribery and security. Yes, bribery and racketeering and conspiracy, which he was actually, in my opinion, the fall guy, because there were a lot of other people involved in that. And yet they want to expel this gal because, yeah, that's another one. Yeah, right there. Yet Swalwell still has his job, and he was sleeping with the enemy, literally sleeping with a Chinese spy. But that's okay. I mean, you know, she was hot, so they say. Yeah, disenfranchising all of Georgia voters, or at least the district that she's from. Now, they disenfranchised every voter in America when they dumped a whole bunch of ballots in the middle of the night, because when there's voter fraud, your vote is irrelevant. And we have proven to these snakes, liars, cheats, and thieves that we'll accept it and just take it now, haven't we? Yep. The word from the Lord that I got is that when what God is about to do happens, when it is revealed, we will stand up as one. Kim Clement said that he saw the people and they were as one. As one. We will stand up as one and shout and demand justice against these evil, evil, sick bastards. Republicans, Democrats, Independents, every one of us. We will stand up in mass. And this is the inevitable that they fear the most, is that we all find out. And God said we're going to find out. It's going to happen. Moving on. You guys go ahead and ask questions. I'm switching back and forth. I got just a few things I just want to cover. And then and if you have any questions, we'll talk about them here while I got time, while you got time. Okay. I didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare this morning. I had a bunch going on. So that's part of the reason for the Q&A. Cheater. Also, please like, comment, and share. Share. Go over, follow me on Rumble and YouTube and share there. Share those videos. Build that content, because if I get kicked off one place, at least I'll be the other. All right. So I saw this the other day. It says, COMEX silver inventory update over the last month. Registered category decreased 24,143,025 ounces. Eligible category decreased only 1,148,305, which means entities standing for delivery are physically removing the metal from COMEX depositories. Elvis has left the building. What does that mean? Now, that small print down there is probably too hard for you to read, but basically what that's saying is we're running out of silver. Actual hold in your hands silver, Okay. Now, if I go over right now and I look at my phone and I pull up my app, and I didn't take a screenshot and load this, but I'm just going to read it to you. I'm pulling it up right now. See, it's pulling up. Where is that? Right there. It's pulling up. I'm pulling up my app, and it tells me that silver is at 26.15, right about where it's been for months. Okay. This says they're running out of physical silver that they can hold in their hands. This 26.15 represents the futures, not real paper. That's all that is. Okay. So paper silver is at 26.15, but they're running out of physical silver to hold in their hands. And then this is this is from, I think it's Silence Do Good. I've been telling people to buy since March 2020, when paper silver was at $12 an ounce and physical silver went to $20 an ounce. The big rally in July brought a lot of new investors. I also encourage people to dollar cost average. And I made a call to buy at the end of November, only few days from the bottom around 23. Things are just getting going. Once it can sustain, now he's talking about the future market here, well, $30, a whole new set of buyers will come in who are trend and performance chasers. Also, after April 2021, the 10-year returns will start looking much better on silver. It peaked at $50 an ounce in April 2011. There's a bunch of things going on behind the scene on silver. If you haven't bought any physical silver, now mind you, I am a layman and I'm below that. I buy and sell scrap, basically, silver, gold, platinum, whatever. So I know a little bit about it, at least on the retail side. I have never bought a silver future in my life, and I don't know a thing really about it other than I watch the price, because that's how they pay me at the friendery when I scrap it. But here's what I know. A friend of mine sent me this message, and I'm sorry, you know who you are. Yes, I'm using your message. No, I took your name off, so don't get all mad at me. A friend of mine sent me this message last night. It says, better get silver while you can. I already knew where he was going with this, but I asked anyways. I said, why is that? He said, at Kansas City auction, they are already paying $50 to $60 an ounce. They're scared of a shortage. Plus, on top of that $50 or $60, they're paying tax and a 5% buyer's premium, to which I said, yowzers. So, see, that $26 represents a hope and a dream. That $26 represents paper, a promise. Nothing more. It's kind of like your dollar bill, which is a fiat currency, which is backed by the good faith credit of the United States of America. But when you go to the actual where you buy it, where especially an auction where you can set your own price, 50, 60 bucks an ounce for silver, yowzers is right. Plus tax, plus buyer's premium, yowzers is right. Man, oh man. This one says it's hard to find silver, but gold is still everywhere. That's because gold's a little bit more expensive to buy. I've been buying gold, little grams of gold. But see, I buy a lot. In the jewelry form, I buy a lot of it. So that's a good way to get your hands on it. It said that the white sheep Fang had full access to the intelligence briefings, and I'm sure she did. Absolutely. Like Feinstein showed for 20. Yeah, the Chinese have been stealing us absolutely blind every which way we can. Donald Trump shut a lot of that down, but Biden has brought it all back. Now, thoughts on Dan Covino's post Air Force One landing gear down. He has, go follow him on Twitter. He has a lot of posts. And then you go follow some of the anons on Telegram. And if you go to my Telegram page and scroll up and down, you'll see where I'm sharing stuff from. Go follow them. They will break that down, do a lot of work in finding. They find a lot of coincidence. They find a lot of messages in that. How much is that true? I don't know. Can it be read into? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What does it mean that the landing gear is down? I don't know. It's just interesting. Could it mean that getting ready to touch down? I don't know. But there's a lot of messages coming there. And you got to understand, in my opinion, there's information and disinformation. There's information being put out that's both to enlighten us normal people and also give information to those that are taking actions behind the scenes, as like, syncopate your watch starting now kind of thing, like you see in the movies. But there's also disinformation. There's also putting stuff out there to scare the crap and or confuse the enemy. It's kind of like in World War II when the British took a guy who had passed away and they dressed him up in an officer's uniform and handcuffed a briefcase to him with a bunch of secrets about how the invasion was supposed to happen into Europe. And then they pushed him out of a submarine like his plane had crashed over by Italy. And he floated up and they captured him and they read those documents and they thought they had it all figured out. And it was all disinformation to confuse the Germans. So how much of what we're getting is information and how much of what we're getting is disinformation? That is the question. Okay, here's another one. Mike, have you heard about the above ground world news regarding the man-made tornadoes and spraying our skies by the Air Force? I heard Army is for sure standing with Trump, but Air Force Marines, look, I'm not a believer. I'm not a believer in the chemtrail conspiracy per se. Okay. Is there some? Probably. Okay. But when you look up in the sky and you see all that stuff crossing, just go over and watch, what's his name? Monkey Works. Go over and watch Monkey Works videos and see how many airplanes are in the sky. Sometimes they'll switch over to commercial traffic. Holy crap. There's a lot of planes in the sky. And condensation trails from, well, my son, he's in the Air Force, and he works on KC-135 super tankers. That's what he's doing right now. And he said, we can dump a whole load into the air, and it won't even. He said you won't even notice it. Like if they got a bird that's full of fuel, but it's got a problem and it has to emergency land, they'll dump all that fuel before they land. So it doesn't go, And he said, you won't even notice it. Won't even notice that they were there. Do you know how much you'd have to dump to make a difference? So just the physics of it makes me doubt some of that. Now, were they experimenting with seeding clouds? Yes, absolutely. I mean, they did it in Vietnam. They did it in World War II, experimenting with all this stuff. Are they still? Maybe they have some success at it, possibly. But let me tell you who controls the tornadoes. Let me tell you who controls the hurricanes. And it ain't man. It's God. God is bigger than all of you combined and all your science and all, there used to be a comedian and he kind of got in some trouble and went away, but there was a comedian in the 80s called Mike Wonky. And he said that if you took all the knowledge of man, all the knowledge from Adam to today, all the Einsteins, all the Socrates, all the Teslas, and you take it all the knowledge of man, you put it in one big pile and you place it up before God. You know what it does? It goes, bah. Because all we are is a bunch of sheep. We just don't have it. I just don't see that God will allow us to have the ability to do that. Now, as far as the military goes, there are some that are for and some that are against, whether it's Army, Air Force, Marines, Navy, Coast Guard. I think most of the Guardians probably are for us. So it's interesting. Now, some of you may be going, "Oh, but Mike, I really believe it." You can believe whatever you want to believe in the chemtrails and all that stuff. That's fine. Just telling you my personal opinion. Yeah, Bill Gates talks about doing a lot of stuff, and again, information, disinformation. How much is actual information? How much is actual disinformation? Bill Gates and them thinks they can change the genetic code. Bill Gates and them and those like him think that if they get enough information, they can create an AI down at Google. They're trying to do this, trying to digitize all information. They've digitized every book on the planet. Did you know that? They've digitized the entire planet. That's what the map was about. They're trying to digitize the gene code of every human being. 23andMe is owned by the wife of one of the Google guys. Hello. They're trying to digitize all the stars in the sky and put that into a supercomputer, because they actually believe this in their own writings, that if they can get enough information into a computer and they can make that computer fast enough that it will create a singularity, which will create an artificial intelligence, a self-aware artificial intelligence. Now, I've seen that movie. I really don't want to go that way, but this is what they believe. They've even set up a 501c3 religious organization to worship that singularity, self-aware AI when it happens. So these people believe a lot of stuff. They believe that eventually they'll be able to live forever. Bill Gates actually believes that he'll be able to download his mind into a computer and live forever. But when I look in here, there's a spot right after Noah, the flood and stuff. God says he won't contend with man forever. 125 is all you get. So if God said it, you ain't going to fix it. So what I'm saying is, yeah, I actually have this comment right here. B-17s left trails when they were flying at high altitude and showing the Germans the maker. Yes. Find them easily. Yes. All planes did. It's just because hot motor, cold atmosphere, it's just like your truck. And if the conditions are right, it hangs around. That's what it takes. So I actually have photos of that. And sometimes on some of the conspiracy pages, I post this photo. Yeah, they were even doing it in World War II. Just, I'm being a troll. I'm sorry. Absolutely. So, but look, if you want to believe that and you want to chase that conspiracy, by all means, because I may be wrong. Let me tell you, I was 100% a skeptic that our government was involved in 9/11. I thought the Muslims wanted to get us, and they do. And that I wasn't buying that we were involved, but I have changed my mind on that. I'm still not 100% convinced that we blew it up. I can see how an airplane flying into it, I got a hair right in my eye, could cause that to happen. But now it's in the possibilities in my mind, if you know what I'm saying. Let's see here. Watch the show 100 Year their AI did, and they took over the planet and they nuked the planet and wiped out all the humans. There's several shows like that, actually. See, Iraqis, Afghans, Vietnamese, Koreans, none of them were coming to get us or invading us. Germans weren't going to cross the Atlantic. 99% of the military actions are based on lies. Yes and no. Some of them were coming to get us, but we were just encouraging them. Okay. The Bible, really? You're going to be hateful, xenophobic towards Asians and promote American exceptionalism when God clearly said he loved the world, but sit there pretending to be a Christian? Okay. First of all, I'm not a xenophobic towards Asians. In fact, I don't think I even talked about Asians other than the North Koreans, which were kind of acting weird. Let me answer this question. I believe that all people, the only difference between an Asian and an American, well, a lot of Americans are Asian. The only difference between any man is whether or not they fear God. Now, you're going to sit here and tell me because I'm a Christian that I can't love my country and think that America is an exception to the world? It absolutely 100% is an exception in world history. There's never been a country like this country. Do you know who says that? God says that. You know how I know he says that? Because he spoke to his prophets and said that there's two nations on this planet in the history of this world. And if you don't like what I'm about to say, stop watching me. Go watch somebody else. But there's two nations in the history of this world that were set up for the sole purpose of serving God. That was Israel. And they were chosen by God, a stiff-necked people that stubbornly refused to allow God to be in their life over and over and over again till God had to destroy them. First, the Assyrians took out the northern kingdom of Israel, and then the Babylonians destroyed Judah. And since then, that nation ceased to exist and has been occupied territory by empires over and over and over until 1945, 46, when they became a nation again, fulfilling prophecies right here in this book. Okay? The other nation that's set apart for God is the United States of America. Right there in the beginning, when we said that we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights. Right there when our founding fathers asked for the providence of God. Right there when our founding fathers stood in defiance of the world paradigm of the day, just like the Patriots are today. They made promises to God. And God made promises to them. This is the only country in the nation, in the world, in the history that said we will set up a system where man can serve God as man and God see fit, and you can work out your salvation with fear and trembling, however you choose to do it or not. No other nation in the history of the world. No other nation in the history of the world has done that. And you know who said that? God said that. How do I know God said that? Because he spoke to his prophets. Listen to what Kim Clement says. Listen to what Mark Taylor says. Listen to what Hank, tell me his name, Hank, I get his first name. I can't think of his last name. Robin Bullock. Name some others. There's a bunch out there. Listen to what they say. They're all in alignment. It's unbelievable. My friends, I am convinced that we are living in a time that we haven't seen God move like we're about to in thousands of years. I'm convinced, 100% convinced. Let me introduce you, Mr. Contego, or whatever your name is. I want to introduce you to something. It's a party I send people to. Enjoy it. Bye-bye. God is greater than our enemies. God is greater than our friends. God is in control. Somebody's asking how Kim Clement died. I don't know. I know he was sick for a while. He passed away about a week after the president was inaugurated. And I hadn't even heard of him until after that. So there you go. Where was I? So here's something fun to watch. Let me post this up here. This goes for that last guy that had to go to my block party. Envy was once considered to be one of the 7 deadly sins before it became one of the most admired virtues under the new name, social justice. Let me tell you who's envious. Is it envious? Is it greed to want to keep that which you earned yourself? Or is it greed to demand that which somebody else earned? Communism is the government of envy. The rich, it's the rich. We got to take from the rich and spread it out. We got to tax the rich. We got to tax the millionaires and the billionaires. And we got to give it out to the poor and the workers. We got to give it to the workers. We got to tax the rich, the billionaires, and the millionaires. Well, now we only have to tax the billionaires. We're not going to tax the millionaires because I am a millionaire now. I got houses and cars and fancy things. But we tax the billionaires. Let me tell you something. They're debating right now in Congress Joe Biden's new tax cut. And remember, when he was running, he was only going to tax people to make $400,000 a year or more. And Donald Trump called him a liar to his face because he was lying. Now it's $200,000, by the way. Oh, tax those suckers. Make them pay. Why did Dillinger rob banks? You ever heard that quote? They asked him after they arrested him, why do you rob banks? He said, because that's where the money is. Well, why does the over oppressive government, thank you for Hank Kuhneman. I don't know how to say his name, but thank you, Victoria. Why does the government tax the middle class? Always tax the middle class. Let me tell you something. If you have a job and you're a professional and you make great, if you do not get an earned income tax credit, okay? If you get an earned income tax credit, you're not taxed. You get more back than you pay in. Hello, your tax obligation is zero. So if you're getting earned income tax credit, you're not taxed. But if you're not getting earned income tax credit and you're not a quadrillionaire like Joe Biden, who when he was no longer vice president, but before he became faux president, and he was getting speaking fees of all these millions of dollars from the Chinese as he went over there to speak. I know that's xenophobic of me, but facts are facts. Kind of stubborn that way. He set up an S corporation so he wouldn't have to pay payroll taxes that he's about to raise on you. Hello. Rules for thee, not for me. Oink, oink. Why do they tax the middle class? Because that's where the money is. You see, they can take all the people that make $400,000 a year or more. That's probably the top, 4 or 5%. They can take all those people. They can tax 100% of their income and they can run this government for a month or two. And not pay any debt because they couldn't afford to. No, the majority of the tax money comes from the guys who are just making enough money not to get earned income tax credit, all the way up to the people who can afford to hire the big, huge accounting firms to get them out of paying the taxes. So the millionaires and the billionaires that Bernie Sanders talks about, they don't pay any taxes. Why don't they? Or they pay very little taxes. How many times have you heard Warren Buffett pays less in taxes than his secretary? Now, what they mean by that is Warren Buffett pays a less percentage than his secretary. Now, check-wise, Warren Buffett's check's way bigger than the one secretary writes. But the difference is his secretary that works for him that probably gets paid very, very well has no deductions. You're getting screwed by your government. Your government's taking 30, 40, 50%. Then your local, and then I did this before, then all the taxes you have, your road tax, your car taxes, your gas taxes, your taxes at the grocery store, your taxes on your cell phone, your taxes on your internet, your taxes on your taxes, your property taxes, your sales tax, all these taxes. By the time you're done, you're left with pittance. But those doggone rich people, they got screwed, so it's okay. Amanda Grace is a good one. I'm scrolling through. Yeah, school taxes. If you're a professional and you're between where you get earned income tax credit and the billionaires and the millionaires that Bernie Sanders always talks about, if you're right in there, as Joe Biden would say, God bless you, man. God bless you. Because Joe Biden, he's going to stimulate you. Because you're going to have to pay for all this stimulation. The money to keep this operation going, this money laundering operation, this Ozark TV show, if you like, only the zeros are bigger, comes from you. Hello, you nurses, you secretaries, you account executives, you sales associates, whoever you are. You have no deductions, none. You know how many deductions I have because I have businesses? It's ridiculous. I take my account, it costs me a lot of money to get my taxes done. And my accountant says, oh, you made $75 this year. I said, well, I'm sure I'm not the only one that had a crappy 2020. So I don't have to pay taxes on $75. You don't think Bernie Sanders and them are doing the same thing? Shoot, Bernie Sanders got a heck of a racket. You see, you can't touch your campaign funds, right? Right? You can't touch your campaign funds. But what you can do is you can hire your wife to be your ad manager. And you can have your ad manager, you pay, now she sends you a bill for $2.9 million for ad buys, right? And she goes out and purchases the ads for you to run for president. And once you have to say where that 2.9 million went to the My Wife ad company. Bam. 2.9 million. After that, doesn't have to be reported. And Bernie Sanders gets to buy a new red exotic sports car. That's the game that we're playing. Yeah, it's a travesty what's going on. Here's another one. Let me leave you with this. We're going to cut our time here pretty quick. Just in, CNN has lost 47% of its primetime audience in the key 25 to 54 age demographic since President Trump left office. They got nothing to talk about now. Joe Biden's boring. And, 47%, that's like half. So out of the 6 people that watch CNN, only 3 left are watching. Their newsroom ain't even watching that garbage. Yeah, exactly. Ilhan Omar, husband, gets all of her campaign's funds, and it's perfectly 100% legal. Guess who wrote the laws? We got to have campaign finance reform and get the big money out of politics. No, that's not what they do. They write campaign finance reform so they can hide all the big money that's in politics so they can get rich. Because they can't get rich any other way. These people that are running for office, Donald Trump talked about this right after he became president or thereabouts. He said, I assumed, and I can understand why he would do this. See, Donald Trump comes from a world where everybody he deals with in his businesses and everything are the cream of the crop. They're the best of the best of the best of the best. Sir, what movie is that from? He comes from a world where, okay, he stands down there and he sees a blighted area in New York and he says, boy, I could build a big, beautiful building right here. I could cover it in gold and put Trump on top of it, and it would be great. So he says, this would be awesome. Let's do this. And so what does Trump do? He goes over to the builder who's the best in the business, because to get to the position where you can build a big building, and put Trump on top, you got to be the best. You don't survive if you're not. He goes over to the architect who's the best in the business. He goes over to the attorneys who are the best in the business. To get to that spot, you've got to be the best. So he's used to dealing with these people who are the cream of the crop, the very best. And then he gets in the government. He becomes president of the United States, and he thinks, well, if these people are running this country, they must be the best, right? If they're at the peak, the pinnacle, the top part, you see, you start out in his mind, and of course, that's what you would assume too. You start out and you run for dog catcher, then you run for city councilman, and then you run for mayor, and then from mayor you run for state representative, and then maybe state senator or governor, or then you run for a federal office, and you become a congressman or a senator, and then after you do that for 20 years, you run for president. Or maybe you become governor and then you run for president. So you got to work your way up. You got to fight. You got to fight in the arena of ideas. And they think, well, these must be the best. But they're not the best. They're the worst. They're the laziest. They're the incompetent. What they're really good at is doing this. Gimme, 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 gimme. That's the only thing they're good at. You see, because it doesn't pay well to be a state senator. It doesn't pay well to be a dog catcher. It doesn't pay well to be a mayor. It pays well to get into business and become the pinnacle. See what I'm saying? It doesn't pay well. Till you get up there and you can start, raping the people and taking everything. Yeah, Trump has all the money, doesn't have to launder the money. That's right. He doesn't need the money. See, what's this one? So new restrictions have eliminated some, but thankfully my college students were included this time. Very frustrating when them being denied the education we plan to provide them with on campus. Yeah, you're getting screwed, and you're getting screwed left and right, and then they're going to get screwed with their college loan. So isn't it great? We're all getting screwed together. It's wonderful. This person says, I used to leave, I think it means believe, the leading vote to vote professionals, but I woke up to that. Yes. You got to understand, we're being played. We're being played as suckers. We're the suckers in the game. When you walk into an illegal, you walk into a gambling, you're playing cards, bunch of buddies, and you look around the room. You try to figure out who the sucker is. Well, if you can't find them, you the sucker. Just saying. I'm going to leave you with this one right here. I'm going to have to pull that up because it's small and I'm blind. It says, think about this right now. There are millions of anons. That's you, that's me. Anonymous. People out there trying to figure all this out. From 90 plus countries, vast majority of which have no clue who anyone else is. Total strangers who have pledged allegiance to humanity and joined forces online in the largest battle in world history. This is a global information war with the stakes higher than ever before. Liberty or death. The media and the Democrats call us Russian agents, Nazis, and bots. But we are, in fact, very real and pissed off patriots. If you have two eyes to see, look around. We are everywhere. We are your local doctors, lawyers, mechanics, farmers, engineers, teachers, and everything in between. We are even evolving. We are ever evolving, highly efficient, well-organized, hyper-intelligent, truth dissemination machine. We don't have billions of dollars, unlimited resources, vast technology, nor control over the internet or social media like they do. We have cell phones, laptops, microphones, voices, and God on our side. And we have been whooping that ass for 4 straight years. We have put fear into them like no one before ever has done before. They know, or excuse me, they don't know what to do. They know they're screwed. And it's almost over. They know it, we know it, and soon the whole world will know it. Breathe that in. It's a fact. My friends, it's about time. I really do believe we are really close. When I talked about in my message yesterday about the 19th chapter of Judges, which I was reading, 19th and 20th chapter, go read it. It's about the Levite who, when he stayed in town, they did the exact same thing they did in Sodom and Gomorrah. And God, I feel like God spoke to me, and I'm not one to say God spoke to me, that he's going to, people are going to rise up, I mean, as one. When Kim Clement says they were one in one of his prophecies. He said he was brought to a place and there was an ocean of people. And he said, I raised my hand and they raised their hand. And I went that did something else and they did something else. I don't remember exactly how it goes. He said, but they were one. They were all as one. I believe that's a prophetic prophecy of what's about to happen when God reveals this evil, like he did in Judges 19 and 20. This evil. The American people are going to stand up in indignation, righteous anger. They're going to shout, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take this anymore. And the pitchforks will be out. And then they will have no choice. They will have no choice but to bring these people, these sick people, to justice. And we're about to see it. I'm telling you, the parting of the Red Sea is, I mean, it's, I thought it would already happen by now. But God says, don't put a timeline on me. God doesn't come when you want him, but he's always on time. I don't know about the QAnons. I don't know about the cloud control and the weather manipulation and the 5G and the QAnons and all that stuff. I don't know about, but I know about God. And he don't play when it's time. So be ready. Keep your eyes open. Get ready, because God's about to move. No doubt. I got to get off here and get to work. I got to open my shop in 2 minutes. You guys have a great day. I'll catch you all later. Thanks for joining me. Share this video. It needs to be shared. Someone needs to hear it. I'm telling you, people need to hear that there's something going on behind the scenes. You guys have a great day.